Hello everybody, welcome to Dakman Productions and welcome to Hey Rail. This video is going to be a Atlas O GATX Airslide unboxing or mail call, however you want to word it, from Mr. Muffins. This is my very first time buying the GATX Airside hopper. So we'll be doing a little review on that, not getting too in depth because I don't want to bore you guys to death. But and plus I'm sure there's other video reviews out there, but I'm going to do my own spin and my opinions of it as soon as I get to see it. So with that being said, let's open up the box and talk about a couple of different things here. Well, one subject. Because you know I always like to tell a story while I'm unboxing, right? So online, for those who don't know, I have an Atlas O 2 and 3 rail Facebook group that I started. Starting to grow pretty well. People enjoying it. We do have 4 hobby shops, actually 5, that have joined that so far. And there's a lot of Atlas O information. So if you like Atlas O trains, O gauge, and you're on Facebook, check out the Atlas O 2 and 3 rail O scale group, and I think you'll like it there. But I see people posting photo or questions or comments on certain things when people show their Atlas O. The first question I see asked now, they're asking, is that the real Atlas or is that the MTH Atlas? So I just find that kind of funny. But so yeah, there's 4 different Atlas O product lines now. You have the Atlas O Master Series, the Atlas O Trainman Series. Now you have the Atlas O Premier Series, which is the MTH stuff. And the industrial line, which is their 027 line, which they haven't made in a long time. Not sure if that'll ever return. For right now, I gotta get rid of these peanuts. They bother me. 1 minute, I'll be right back. Alright, so I got the trash can, I'm back. I, for one, am glad, actually, that MTH did sell some molds off to Atlas O. Atlas O was pretty smart in buying the molds from MTH because if you go back on the history of Atlas O, about 4 or 5 years ago, Atlas O lost their factory that was producing their stuff, so we hadn't seen anything from Atlas O for a while. But when Atlas O bought the MTH, some of the MTH Premier stuff, it came with the fact that they could use the same factory that MTH does. So everything's all set up. No molds had to be moved. Everything's ready to go and run into production. And to me, with Atlas O doing this, buying those MTH molds, it shows me, at least, that they're willing to invest into the O gauge market. Thankfully, you know, and I thank Atlas for that, because there for a while, you know, with them losing their factory 4 or 5 years ago, basically the factory said that they didn't want to produce for Atlas anymore, the O scale stuff. So that left us high and dry for a long time, especially with track and stuff. But now Atlas O is getting back into the groove with the MTH mold, at least, and that's a good sign. I was afraid that Atlas was just going to concentrate back on HO and N, but they're going to reinvest, and I'm happy about that. So today we have the GATX Airslide. And I bought 2 different road numbers of the ConAgra road name. We'll get these out of the box and we'll look at them. I know what people are thinking. They're saying, Sean, we're surprised that you didn't buy the Penn Central, actually it's a Conrail overstamped Penn Central, meaning it's an X Penn Central and it has the CR reporting marks on it. So if you look at it close enough, it'll say Penn Central on there, but the reporting marks are patched out. And we talked about what patching means. That means painting a square block over the original reporting marks and putting in new ones. So the PC is patched out and now CR is in place, meaning the reporting marks are saying that car now belongs to Conrail. Basically, the Conrail overstamped car. I looked at that and I'm glad that the O-Gauge manufacturers are now doing this. They're doing patched road names, and I think that's a good thing. People want to have that transition era rolling stock, believe it or not. You know, like for example, the last run of the Lionel SD70 Ace locomotives. One of them, everybody's saying, yeah, it's a Conrail unit. No, 70 Mac. I'm sorry, it's a SD70 Mac. Everybody's like, yeah, they're saying, yeah, they did another Conrail. Nope. Conrail number 777 is actually a CSX unit. So if you look at the Lionel CSX number 777, or Conrail, it looks like it's a Conrail unit. Very small letters. It says CSX under the cab number 777. And that's happened really in real life, and I explained all that a couple videos ago, why that was all done. And it was a very interesting story on that. But I'm glad to see a lot of transition, or more transition era rolling stock coming in. You know, with the way the economy is and all that fun stuff, without getting in too political, I had to cut back on this order. I probably would have gotten the Conrail overstamped Penn Central ones too, but it just wasn't in the budget this time around. But who knows, maybe later on I might buy them. But at any rate, so what got me into ConAgra? And good story on that. I went to Georgia in 2018 for National Garden Railway Convention. That's where you get to tour people's homes and look at their garden railroads. I brought video back from that. Had lots of fun. I believe in the midst of traveling around to people's different houses or on the way home, I forget when, but I drove by an actual ConAgra plant. And before that, I had no idea who ConAgra was, and even about them. I didn't even know they existed until I drove by that plant, and they had a rail yard there. And I was looking at the freight cars in our rail yard, and everybody knows I like grain hoppers. And I looked at the grain hoppers and the paint schemes, like, wow, those would look great in O-Gauge. And sure enough, MTH made a ConAgra hopper car. Pretty realistic to what I've seen, by the way. Those are like super rare to find, super hard to find. I have one road number. If anybody has the second one, let me know. Post a comment. Get a hold of me in the email. Do something. I'll buy it from you for a reasonable price. I'm not going to pay, you know, $199.99 for it like somebody likes to charge on eBay. But at any rate, all right. So enough jabber. Let's get these out of the box and take a look at them. I'm excited for this. So we have the Atlas O Airside hopper out of the box. Atlas O calls this the 40-foot Airside hopper, and it's based on the Masterline series. So we'll take a look at those details in a minute. Let's talk a little bit about a history on the Airside hopper, since this is my very first one. The Airside cover hopper was introduced by General American Transportation Corporation, otherwise known as GATX, in 1953. Approximately 5,000 of the 2,600 cubic foot cars were built between 1953 and 1969. The Airside is primarily designed for the bulk shipment of dry, granular, or powdered commodities. The design of that car is such that it can be loaded and unloaded quickly and with little spillage through the use of air pressure. The most common commodities carried included flour, sugar, starch, plastic pellets, cement, powder chemicals, and carbon black. The Atlas O version is true quarter scale dimensions and details, has realistic see-through roof walk and brake wheel platform, separately applied grab irons and brake line details, sprung die-cast 70-ton roller bearing or Bettendorf trucks, depending on the road name. Opening hatches will operate on a minimum curve diameter of 0.27 in 3-rail or minimum radius curve 24 inches in 2-rail. It has die-cast articulated couplers in 3-rail and scale wheels and KD compatible scale couplers in 2-rail. ConAgra Brands Inc., formerly ConAgra Foods, is an American consumer packaged goods holding company headquartered in Chicago, Illinois. ConAgra makes and sells products under various brand names that are available in supermarkets, restaurants, and food service. ConAgra was actually founded in 1919 by Frank Little and Alva Kinney, who brought together 4 grain mills as Nebraska Consolidated Mills at Grand Island, Nebraska. The headquarters were moved to Omaha in 1922. The company ran profit until 1936, when Kinney retired. In 1940, the company began producing flour at its own mill, and in 1942 ventured into livestock feed business. So taking a look at this car, it is definitely a typical Atlas O Master Series. Lots of detail. A very nice car, I think. If you're running that time period of trains, it's definitely a must-have. What made these Airside a little bit different than the Pullman standard covered hopper cars is the same length. You know, there's a couple narrow chutes down at the bottom, but just check out this detail. I mean, you got the brake hose, the brake lines, and typical Atlas O Masterline series, where you got the rotating wheel bearing caps. You got the nice couplers. Check out that ladder. You got the printing on the end of the car. It's just really cool, crisp details. The ConAgra name, let me get my hand out of there. The small fine print that belongs on these cars, which a lot of lower end O gauge doesn't, capture. So check that out. That's pretty nice. And then on the other end of it, you have your air brake tank. You got those details. So yeah. Very nice. You got see-through grates, see-through walkways on roof walks. Very nice. Wow. Yeah, even the hatch is open on these. So there you go. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. So this will be a perfect hopper car to run in my Conrail / Penn Central transition air train, otherwise known as the Conrail Rainbow years. So, many of you may not know or do know that I do have what I call a Conrail Penn Central transition train. In other words, I have, I run a train that has a lot of Penn Central in it, maybe some overstamped stuff in there. And this would be perfect to run in that for that time period. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll catch you guys trackside. Goodbye.